Jacob, what's with the glasses,
It's
man?
not time yet, is it?
No, you might want to. You're spoiling the fun for everyone.
Dang it!
Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing our part 2 of our Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 7, The Dragon and the Wolf breakdown and review. So,
We left off with Jaime going north. He's done with Cersei's crazy crap. They're broken up. He's gone. So, man, we're in the main event stuff now.
So let's just start off from where we're at. So after the whole meeting kind of goes, it goes as well as expected. I mean, for Game of Thrones, no one got murdered at that meeting.
Which
so, I mean,
was...
that's big deal. Every time any bunch of characters meet up, Red Wedding,
Purple Wedding, the Sept.
I mean, people die. Some people, especially main characters,
Bye-bye.
off. So, but no,
next season they're going to be dropping like flies left and right.
I mean, you got 6 episodes in the next season, so I mean, they're going to have to, if they are going to do that, they're going to have to kill, they're going to kill a lot of characters. I would love to tell us if you think so.
Kill list.
Let's do a predictions, see who do you think will live, make a Deadpool and have a who's going to live and who's going to die. Actually, we're going to do that. Screw that. We're gonna do who lives and who dies in season 8.
This time next year when the season's about to actually start, because
we'll bring that video back up and we'll see if we were right
anyways,
or not.
back on topic.
So at Dragonstone, we are reunited. We see Jon and Dany and Jorah and all the main characters from on Dany's team, basically
talking about how
to proceed and how to go forward with the White Walkers. Yeah. And then it cuts to Jon in the main room, and we see Theon. Yeah. And we finally get him back because what was Theon? Theon was actually just chilling out at Dragonstone ever since he showed up on that boat.
He was just kind of there
with the rest of the Greyjoy clansmen the very few that he has left.
So basically what happens is Jon and Theon are basically trading war stories about I've done things that you can imagine. Then Jon's like, well, actually, you have done things I can't imagine, and they're going back and forth. And Jon pretty much tells them, you don't have to choose between being a Greyjoy or a Stark.
He's like, you're both.
You're both. You're a Greyjoy and you're a Stark, and.
Was he a squire or was he a ward?
It was ward. He was a ward
because
it was the spoils of war. It was that rule. Since they took Pike or whatever, you get
So but basically, Theon, without having a pair of balls actually attached to his body, grows a pair after getting his butt kicked. Metaphorically, Well, no, not so much from getting his ass kicked. He knows that he's got to man up and he's got to save Yara because how he kind of just left her. Now I will say this: if he had tried to go against, he would have killed Euron. Would have killed him no problem. Because if the Sand Snakes teaming up, the two Sand Snakes couldn't take him out. Theon definitely is not.
I totally forgot that happened. I totally forgot the Sand Snakes died.
Yeah, they. Well, it's all except for one member. They have. Well, technically, she is dead now because she's dead now.
She's dead.
At some point, she'll be dead, and so is Mama Tyrell as well. But anyways, Tyrell, no, Martell. Sorry. I always keep.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that.
I always keep messing up with the Martells and the Tyrells. Anyways. So if Theon can't take on Euron, so the fact that he jumped ship, it
makes a lot of sense.
He not just makes so much sense. I mean, it's true to his character. He kind of went back to Reek for a second, but finally he's growing a pair because he would have died, and there would Yara would have had no one to come and rescue her because her bannermen wouldn't have come for her. They would have tried to hide out and do whatever if there was no Theon. So just to see him go and have the fight with was he just a captain?
Yeah, it was one of the captains, and Theon is kind of thoroughly getting his butt kicked, but then probably the once and only time this is ever going to help him, he starts getting kneed in the groin and
nothing because he's got nothing there.
And then Theon gets the upper hand, takes him down, beats him to death, and says,
earns his man's respect.
And says,
he's like, "You gonna learn today?
Let's go get Yara. Let's go."
Yep. So, I mean, that was great. So, they're leaving off, and I'm actually really interested to see because the last time we saw Yara was at
King's Landing.
At King's Landing, but I think Euron took her away.
So he's going to Essos, maybe, or he might be going to.
So either she's in prison somewhere in King's Landing,
or
she's on the ship with Euron, or she's at the Iron Islands.
Maybe he is going. Well, and I don't know the geography of everything.
Well, remember, Essos is across the Narrow Sea.
But would it make a lot of sense for him to go to the Iron Islands, drop Yara off, and then...
I don't see why he would drop her off. I feel like she's gonna be. She's basically at King's Landing, imprisoned, or which would be really, really hard for them to save Yara. We know someone who's going to be doing some Slytherin later in this episode, but I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I had to make a Harry Potter reference into a dirty joke. Anyway, so she's either got to be with Euron or she's got to be at King's Landing, because there's no way that he's just like leaving her at the Iron Islands. So, but anyways, probably a big point in this episode, probably one of the most satisfying moments of this episode. We cut over to Winterfell, and we see Sansa having a discussion with Littlefinger, and he's basically like, I like to, whenever I can't really, decide, he's like, I like to play a game where I basically, learn and assume
the worst.
Assume the worst, yeah. And so he's like, why would Arya return to Winterfell? She's like, to kill me. He's like, why would she want to kill you?
To become Lady of
Winterfell. It's like, and why would she? What would she gain from being like Lady of Winterfell? And she's like, basically control of the North, and there would be no, because she always preferred, Jon over, because of how everything in the very first episode, when he's basically beginning of the series,
he made Needle for her.
Yeah. So I mean, I think she's got a soft spot, but Littlefinger's been trying to play everybody, because remember, he played both Tully's sister. He played Mama Stark and God, what was her name? Her aunt Eliza.
Yeah.
Eliza or doesn't matter.
It did.
Yeah. He basically murders her, but he's basically played them against each other to kind of like put them at odds. And so, but anyways, so he finally convinces Sansa to basically bring Arya. So she's like, bring Arya to the Great Hall, and let's, talk to her and see what she has to say and answer
Arya,
for everything.
And Arya comes in and says, "Why am I here? Do you really want to do this?" And then, Littlefinger. Well, I'll let him say it.
Sansa, looking over at Littlefinger, it's like, how do you like to report these crimes, Peter Baelish?
Boy.
Got own, Littlefinger.
Most satisfying death. But seriously,
anyways,
most satisfying death in
so
the
never mind
history.
Our
That was our interpretation of the Thug Life videos. If you guys know what we're talking about,
Sansa basically went straight Thug Life on Peter Baelish and was like,
as he dies.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, we're not even there yet. Basically, how she's just sitting there at the table, at the chair, and it's just like, how do you respond to these crimes, Peter Baelish? And it's like Littlefinger's like, and then everyone just stops.
He literally becomes the blinking guy meme.
Yeah, and he's just like, Excuse me, Sansa.
My sister asked you a question.
No. He's like, I'm rather confused. I don't know what you're trying to tell me right now. It's like, and I just love how he's just this. Finally, the most satisfying moment to see Littlefinger, the most sneakiest and cleverest
Conniving
of all,
little.
to see him get played. That was so satisfying.
Well, I mean, when you've got Mr. Plot Device sitting there over in a wheelchair, I mean.
Listen, as I'm saying, because we see these had to go back on. I'm feeling very Sansa, very.
Boy.
Sansa's been straight thug life.
I'm just gonna let you.
Since episode 8.
I'm just gonna let you feed your own ego right here.
When she's just like, sleep well, Lord Bolton, because you die tomorrow, and I'm like, oh my god. Anyways, so Team Sansa, # Team Sansa.
Boy.
So we have. Oh, these glasses are staying on for the rest of the review.
I created the monster, everybody.
You did. You created the Kanye monster of Game of Thrones. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm going.
Oh, no. You're gonna sit right. You're gonna sit right here. Anyways, before the watch you. Anyways,
But
so we see basically him just trying to weasel his way and talk his way out of it.
And
this is the one thing where he cannot talk himself out of it.
Sansa calls him on literally everything he's done from
everything, even the stuff they were not there.
From poisoning Jon Arryn to
killing her aunt,
pushing her
through the door.
I mean,
the whole point about putting the knife to Ned Stark's throat and just being like, you shouldn't have trusted me.
Well, I mean, you've got Captain Plothole over there. I mean, Plot Point over there, who's literally a walking, talking plot device.
And then Arya basically like, oh, in this, the cutthroat dagger, and you said it was Tyrion's, and it was actually
yours.
You
lying little dude.
You little lying sack of crap. And
so,
oh, that was just so quick.
It was just so
he's like shut up.
No, it was casual. She's like
she didn't even
walks off.
I know, she just like, oh my god.
Nope,
anyways, that was like, it was okay. I'll say this though, he's one of those characters you love to hate, because like I've been wanting him to die ever since he killed Ned Stark, because I had a huge like respect for Ned Stark as a character.
That's something else. Like him and Robb, if they were still alive, they would be a huge help to Jon right about now.
Right, and so like, I mean the whole landscape of the world would be different, because if you had Ned, he would still be King of Winterfell. He'd still be the Lord, and so you would have Robb. Like this, it would be a whole different story. You would have such, anyways. So Littlefinger being responsible for all that he was responsible for, and finally getting his comeuppance and getting just straight slayed by Arya.
I mean, that was a satisfying death, but to me, it's still the second most satisfying death.
Okay, hold on. I'd say this is the third most satisfying. I put Ramsay first, Joffrey second, and then
my top three. Littlefinger? No.
I'm about to say you put Littlefinger at the top.
Ramsay, Littlefinger, and Viserion getting crowned.
His was fine, but my thing was he died in episode 6 of season 1. He didn't live long at all.
I know, but just anyways, I
mean, like Joffrey needed to die, and it took them all the way until season 4 to kill Joffrey, and he was like, what he did, and basically him having Ned executed and everything. Anyway, that's just our difference of opinions, but I would definitely put Joffrey and Ramsay above.
Let's get...
Yeah.
So, basically, he's dead. And the Stark family is stronger than ever.
And so are all their bannermen, too. Because remember, there was that whole pseudo, like, we're kind of worried in this division of are they going to still support the North? Now let's see how well everything plays out when
the Dothraki and the Unsullied.
No, I'm not worried about them. When Jon shows up with Daenerys, and he's bent the knee to Daenerys,
and then friggin' okay, now we get in the juicy stuff.
So we see. Samuel Tarly, after he's left the Citadel, he shows up at Winterfell, and he's talking, and he comes up and sees Bran in his chambers.
And
I just love, oh my god. So we have the most pivotal point in, probably one of the most pivotal points in all of Game of Thrones like
to
ever.
to this point until about 5 minutes later. So.
Hey, you wanna maybe lead off and start this? You know, I incest.
Oh,
I insist you take it from here.
Oh, yikes!
Take the lead on this.
Yo. Okay. So, anyways, Samuel comes rolling up and says, "Hey, Bran, you remember me? I let you through the wall." He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you. I remember everything." He's like, "Oh, that's
I'm the
cool.
three-eyed raven.
That. Oh, you are. That's
It's like, what's a three-eyed raven?
that's nice." But anyways, so since John's he pretty much says since John's the one to lead the battle against the dead men, I've come to help, and he says so have I. I've got to tell Jon something when he gets back. Tell him what? The truth. The truth about himself.
The truth.
And so basically, him and Sam start talking, and Bran tells Sam that John's the son of the bastard son of Rhaegar and Lyanna, that his name's supposedly Sand.
Jon Sand, yeah.
And then
that's when Sam is like,
Swerve.
Yeah, Swerve, you got shook, son. There's something you didn't know, is that Rhaegar had his marriage annulled to was it Elena Martell?
Yeah, Elena Martell
and so Oberyn's sister, and then, which is funny because Rhaegar actually had a son and a daughter with her before he got together with Lyanna. They were killed by the mountain.
That, and also he wanted that third child because the dragon has 3 heads.
Right, and so we see, but then he tells, he's like, how about you look into it? And so we take a nice little magical trip to the past. We get a whole Back to the Future, and we see, for the first time, Rhaegar like actually like shown, not mentioned, but shown.
I could have sworn that was Viserys. That was
he looked.
Viserys.
They did look kind of similar. I mean, he did look a little more stocky and like broad shouldered, a little more imposing than Viserys, because Viserys was very skinny and lanky.
And we also finally hear Jon's actual name,
Aegon Targaryen.
Aegon Targaryen. And during this entire scene, while Bran is narrating it,
let's get this word.
We get Jon and Dany doing some stuffity stuff.
Well, more important than that, we get the big kind of reveal to the audience, which we kind of knew all along, especially since the end of season 6, that why am I drawing a blank on this? I'm like really sorry, guys. Basically, that Robert's rebellion
was based on a lie.
Well, yeah, was that she never got abducted and raped by Rhaegar. He and her eloped together in Dorne and were fallen in love, and basically, and they had Jon, aka Aegon. It's gonna be so hard to be calling him like Aegon. Like, I want to call him Jon. So it's just for posterity for this video, we'll keep calling him Jon. So when they had Jon together, and this was all consensual, it's all real. And so one of the biggest points that I think a lot of people are not picking up on,
Ned's part in this whole thing. If Ned would have realized that Lyanna actually married Rhaegar, Robb's rebellion would have been a whole lot different.
Well, not just a lot different, but the thing is that people want to assume like, oh, well, but goes the whole back about, it's a callback to, it's a dragon raised by wolves. He was the heir to the Iron Throne. There was a reason why Jon held him in such high esteem, and not Jon, but Ned held him in such high esteem and loved him so much. I mean, that was his, basically an extension of his sister. It's the last thing he has of his sister, and he's also one of the last living Targaryens. And really importantly, it's what's really cool is if you actually look into it and think about it. In the very first season, remember, Ned quits being the Hand of the King to Robert because Robert is hell-bent on going and assassinating Daenerys.
And he's just like, nope.
And he's just like, no, I'll have no part in this.
Not doing it.
And it's because he doesn't want not just because he
He
thinks
he doesn't want to kill he doesn't want to kill his niece.
Well,
like,
no, it's not. Well, not. I mean that. Yes, but like he doesn't. Well, that's not.
Yeah.
Daenerys is not, because Daenerys is would be Rhaegar's sister. It's not. They're not together. It'd be sister. That'd be, so technically that'd be Lyanna's sister-in-law. It wouldn't be his niece. If
Okay.
no, he doesn't want Jon to lose out on having family, because that's his blood family, and so he doesn't want any of them basically touched, especially an innocent girl. So it's really, if you look at it, it's like they've been plotting this and playing this, like George R. R. Martin and the people
the entire time.
Like now all the pieces come together why he didn't want.
So to put this part with a nice big Targaryen family bow on it, we get that pivotal scene, and we get Jon and Daenerys finally getting together. We finally get to see that on screen, and then we transition to probably the biggest, most pivotal scene, or one of the most pivotal scenes in the entire Game of Thrones.
Jon and Daenerys having sex. Oh, you're talking about the wall.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yes,
I mean,
the wall coming
sorry.
down.
Delete. Not talking about Jon and Daenerys having sex anymore. Sorry. I mean, I'm just saying, if she was my aunt, I don't know, maybe.
Creepy. It's creepy.
Isn't it weird that she's his aunt, yet he's
They
older?
don't know about it. Shut up.
I know, but that's what's crazy, is that like he's older, yet she's his aunt.
Shut up.
I have a theory. She's gonna be pregnant in season 8, yo. And okay, listen. So let's just say, guys, that
You've got 45 seconds.
That she is 45 seconds. Okay. I am Barry Allen, the fastest man alive. Anyways, Jon and Daenerys do not know that they are related, that they are, aunt and nephew. However, she was told that she couldn't have kids by that witch in season 3?
1?
Whoa, man, am I drawing a blank?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Season 1, you ding dong.
Sorry, it's. You gotta. I'm having a Jacob moment where I'm not getting my words correct.
Anyways,
so we have
for every
So anyways, we're having they don't know that they're related, but they're gonna find out next season. I mean, Bran's gonna tell them. They're gonna have the whole thing, but what's crazy is that Viserion, her dragon, he's dead. And so she's made on multiple. They've literally been talking about this now,
hitting us over the head with it.
Where basically she can't have kids. Tyrion's brought it up. She's brought it up. Jon's brought it up. This has been a plot point that they've been talking about, and I'm like, why are they keep bringing up this whole plot point about she can't have kids?
Because now
is that I have a theory, and it's that the dragons are now her children, because when she emerged from that fire of Khal Drogo's funeral fire, and she emerged with the 3 dragons being born, those were the children now. So for every time that a child, because she, being a Targaryen, you have 3 dragons, like the 3-headed dragon. So now that because she's the mother of dragons, she has lost one of the dragons, which means there's an empty slot. There is a space on this fantasy football league for Jon to fill in, if you know what I'm saying. So, God. I'm sorry, like you
basically what he's saying.
Oh, sorry, the glasses are not supposed to come off for this
basically
episode.
What he's saying is, if he thinks all 3 dragons are going to die.
No. That's a possibility. That's a possibility that all 3 will die. I think Drogon will. I think they'll lose.
Rhaegal.
I think they'll lose Rhaegal. I think they'll at least have 1 dragon, maybe left. But that basically means that you're gonna have
every dragon that dies,
she can have a kid.
She can have a kid.
So what if you had 2 dragons die, and now you have, Jon and Dany have a boy and a girl? Like you could have
secured line.
Just saying. So that'd be pretty fascinating.
Speaking of dragons that have died. Okay, we transition up to Eastwatch. Bran is having a vision, and he gets on the Ravens, and he goes up to Eastwatch, and we see Tormund and Beric having a conversation, and then
all the White Walkers
all
show up.
hell breaks loose, literally.
And so you have the entire White Walker army is at the wall now,
and
you hear a faint screech.
I've never seen that dragon go faster. I swear to God, that dragon.
He's convinced the dragon's moving faster than it was when it was alive.
That's what it looks like.
That's very possible. That's very possible. Now, I keep wondering. I'm like, if it's supposed to be like he's an ice dragon now, I'm like, wouldn't it just freeze the wall more? But again, apparently he's just got basically it's just blue fire.
Blue fire. He's basically a blue eyes white dragon.
He's a Yu-Gi-Oh. He's a walking, living, breathing Yu-Gi-Oh. He's a giant Yu-Gi-Oh reference. But we have the Night King riding a dragon now, and you have an entire giant White Walker army filled with giants and wildlings
and God knows what else. God knows what else.
Hodor.
And also giant spiders if they want to put the budget in for that. But yeah, basically the wall comes down.
Well, half the wall.
Well, a portion of it. Well, not a half, like a fourth, but
enough for the entire army to walk through.
And by the way, Tormund and Beric are okay. They were on the. They weren't on the part.
They would not kill him off screen. That'd be pretty bad.
Let's go with the. There's no body, so he's not dead. Let's go with that popular theory, because that's always the theory when someone dies.
But yeah, the biggest takeaway probably for this video, and I want to see how they're going to approach it going forward, is that Jon, aka Aegon Targaryen, is the true heir to the Iron Throne, and we see that he's kind of taken on, the role as King of the North, and he's kind of really accepted that. So maybe he can and will accept possibly being king if they find out that he's like, if Dany accepts it. Because she's been so dead set, but now if they fall in love and she's like, well, technically he's the heir. So she's like, so I don't mind, because she's like, I'm already gonna be queen anyway. So I'm like, I could be his queen. It could work.
Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. There's so much, guys. I'd love to do.
We're gonna do it. Since we have a year, we're probably gonna watch the whole series, and we're probably gonna break it down. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it's gonna be the majority of our videos.
And so we'll probably go back through and talk about some of the big moments of Game of Thrones that we've enjoyed before the final season.
Maybe our biggest what if theories, but
definitely, yeah. He just said it. We're gonna do our next Game of Thrones video. Probably won't be for a while because we're coming up on one of the biggest things. Just really quick to plug something so you guys can be aware of it. Our Stephen King video for our trailer reaction has now hit
over 1,000 views.
Yeah, 1.1K views. That's ridiculous. We are so impressed. We're so we're not impressed with ourselves, but we're just happy. We're happy that you guys turned out and watched it, and that you guys liked it as much as you did. And so the fact that we recognize that is a very popular topic.
We're gonna be doing more videos based on it over the next 2 weeks.
So we're going to be doing, tell us what you guys think, but we're going to be doing an actual review of the film. We're going to actually go do a retro rewind, and we're going to review the 1990 TV miniseries film, and then we're also going to, we're also going to be looking into doing some other It-related videos. So just to give you guys a little bit of information, we will be doing those It videos to honor and to basically just, because we know that you guys are interested in those. But this Thursday, we're going to be having a pretty big panel to go out and see the IMAX premiere of Marvel's Inhumans for ABC. We're going to be going down to our local IMAX theater, and we're going to be checking that out. And then right afterwards, we're going to let you guys know in advance. We'll be dropping it on our social media. We're going to be doing a live reaction afterwards, and we'll be talking about it. And then we'll give you guys an official review of it as well on our channel. So, but anyways, this Game of Thrones, probably one of these seasons keep getting better. This is probably one of my favorite seasons of Game of Thrones yet. I'm so sad it wasn't 10 episodes, but I'll take 7. The wait's going to be really long for season 8.
This time next year probably.
So they're talking about possibly. Have you heard about that? They're talking about like it's gonna be like 558 days away. Like they're talking about early 2019. It's like they said that it's probably not gonna be 2018 because they have to film like around wintertime to make it like. Anyways, so there's a possibility that we won't have Game of Thrones back until early 2019. We don't know.
Sad Jacob is sad.
So keep an eye out for that. But until next time, see you guys later.
Peace out.
That's all for today's episode. Thank you guys for watching.
And be sure to like this video and subscribe.
And click the link in the description below to follow us on social media.
See you guys next time.